All right, mate, how's it going? My name is Glenn. Welcome to a brand new football training podcast. I'm not going to waste your time by playing the intro and stuff. I've got a lot to talk about today, but I don't have any plan. I don't have any plan for it. Right, first things first. All right, you got to understand, I'm not an arrogant man. I'm not in a dick measuring contest. I'm not like, it is what it is. Today's the 28th of September. Over the space of the last month, so from the end of August to now, end of September, I've made £50,000 football trading. It might be a little bit more. I know the gross was 54, so 2%. So yeah, like 50, whatever, over 50 grand. Please understand something. I am not trying to prove anything to you. I am not trying to like compare or measure or anything like that. I'm just telling you the cold hard facts. If you're wondering what this is, by the way, this is I say this, I can't see it, but I'll put it on screen. This is from BetDAC. So I was using Betfair. I got hit with the premium charge, which is where they try and basically put a tax on it. So you got to pay tax on your tax-free winnings. So I walked away and started using BetDAC. That's why if you've seen any of the emails or any of the screenshots or any of the YouTube, whatever of like profits and stuff like that, that's from BetDAC. I'm not using Betfair anymore. Thanks, Betfair. Very short-sighted, actually, if you ask me. The fact that they want to instill this premium charge, it's almost like a greed. It's like if you had the foresight to allow your higher earners to stay on the platform rather than charging them, yes, you'll make some money now. You'll make a little bit more money now, assuming they don't walk away like I did. But yeah, like the amount of money that I was making personally on Betfair pays for like someone's payroll. Do you know what I mean? Like as a business, that's a good thing. So yeah, again, I'm not trying to like show off or anything, but that's what over the space of the last 30 days, 50 grand. Now that's the good news for me. That's the good news. The bad news is I have been, this book, by the way, I'll like flash a little thing on the screen now of people who have had amazing results with the book. I'm not here to sell your book, by the way. I'm just letting you know. I've had loads of people who've had really good responses with that, who've like made money or doubled their bank and etc, etc. However, this week I have been called a twat. I've been called a scamming bastard multiple times. I've been called the C-bomb twice. Thank you. I've been called all sorts of stuff. I've had people question my morals, question my ethics, question everything. I realize with great power comes great responsibility. So I set out with this purpose of helping people make money with football trading because I believe in it. I think it's a better business model than property. I think it's a better business model than the stock market. It's better than crypto. It's better than leaving your money in a bank. I really do believe in football trading, and I've done really well off it as of the members. But the problem is that when you put yourself out there and start talking about it and start trying to share it, naturally, I think we're very skeptical as a nation, as a world. I think we're really skeptical, and rightly so, because you get hit every day with all sorts of messages and all sorts of bloody shit from companies, of shit that you don't need. I get it. I'm like it too. I do it too. I'm like, yeah. I guess trust has waned over time, but when I looked at my account and I'd done that 50 grand over the last 30 days. I know I'm not supposed to because I'm a man and we don't show our emotions and we don't ask for help and we don't fucking talk about how we feel about things. I had a little cry because that to me is a monumental thing in my life. It's a monumental milestone. That's the most I've ever made in a month in my career. It's the first time I ever hit 50 grand. And the six-figure football trader was based on months and months and months of accumulated profits, which equal many hundreds of thousands of pounds. But this is the first time I did 50. And I'll be honest, I didn't feel good about it. Like, yeah, it's great. Like, don't get me wrong, 50 grand is 50 grand. It's about the meaning you give it. But I realized it kind of made me go a bit insular and a bit spiritual about things. And it made me realize that we're fucked. Like, the world is absolutely fucked. And I always thought, when I've made loads of money, it'll make me happy. And it hasn't. And I thought when I was able to, not semi-retire, but like be comfortable, it'll make me happy. And it hasn't. What it's done is actually made me worse, because money makes you more of what you are. And you sit there, and I must have spoken to 200 people this week, like, no joke, and it's the same thing, and it's the same rhetoric, and everyone, bar a very small minority of people, come from a place of fear with this stuff, understandably so. Even though, like, financially, I'm doing all right, I am shit scared of this energy thing, like the energy crisis. I'm scared that a very small, centralized corporate body can hold a country to ransom, which is basically what's happening. If you are a mother of two, a single mum of two now, you're getting benefits, you got a little job maybe, you are going to be in a situation where you've got to make a decision as to whether your kids eat or whether they're warm. In 2022. If you were an alien who came down to this planet and went, oh, look, there's life here, and you looked at humanity as a whole, and you go, you've got so much land, you've got so much technology, you're so clever, you've got so many, like artificial intelligence doing loads of the work for us and all that kind of stuff, which is a total different conversation in and of itself. Why the fuck are there people who are homeless? Why are there kids going to food banks? Why is my nan gonna have to make a decision between eating and being warm over winter when we've got all the fucking shit that we need? I realise you didn't come here for a political rant, but I'm concerned. Like, I'm really fucking concerned. I got this quote up from Thatcher, of all people. I'm a bit young to really know. I wasn't really around in Thatcher's time. But Thatcher said, if a man finds himself a passenger on a bus having attained the age of 26, he can count himself as a failure in life. It's disgusting. If a man finds himself a passenger on a bus having attained the age of 26, basically, if you're 26 and you don't have a car, you can count yourself as a failure in life. That hasn't changed. Like, yeah, the face on it has changed. It's, it's Tony Blair, it's Liz Truss, it's David Cameron. The idea behind it is exactly the same. It's harder now than ever, based on taxation, based on energy, based on water, based on taxation on stuff that you buy, on food costs, on everything. Like, you're just getting fucked left, right, and centre. And I honestly attributed, like, an element of, when I make enough money, I'll be happy. When I make enough money, I'll be secure. When I made enough money, I'm all right, Jack. Let everyone else deal with themselves, and you can go fucking run away and go off grid and make your own, have your own electricity supply and your own food supply and your own this, and it hasn't. It's actually turned the fucking screw for me a little bit, because I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed that I'm talking with people this week who've read the book. I mean, the book is a fiver. I lose money every time I sell one of those books through advertising and our CRM and all like staff and stuff like that. I lose money every time someone buys a book for $4.99. But I do it because I think it's important. And these people that I'm having conversations with, bearing in mind, I've been called all sorts: twat, scammy bastard. Like, at what point calling people the C-bomb is acceptable, I have no fucking idea. But I know so many people are coming from a place of fear. And it worries me that people aren't joining us and getting with us because, like, they just want to make a decent return and stuff. A lot of people are coming to us from a place of survival. And that really concerns me, because it puts me in a moral dilemma then, because I would love to just give this stuff away for free. Like, if money wasn't a thing, then fine. I mean, the thing wouldn't exist anyway. But the point is, there's elements of liquidity that we need to protect within the business, i.e., Tiger, for example, if it's recovering on a game that it's lost, if we had 5,000 people on that, the markets wouldn't be able to handle that amount of liquidity. So we have to cap it, and we have to, like, stop the number of people coming in, because otherwise the liquidity's gone and then none of it exists. I'm really starting to worry for us now, like, as a species. Like, the fact that people who have full-time jobs, who in a lot of cases, 2 incomes are coming into a household and they can't afford basic amenities and like basic necessities, frightens the shit out of me. Because then if you have like a single lady on her own who doesn't have a husband or a wife or kids or anything like that, how are they going to fucking survive? Do you know what I mean? I didn't want to get into like Orwellian theory or globalization or the Great Reset or whatever. I didn't want to talk about that. I wanted to talk about football trading. And I actually, honestly, I'd love to sit here and celebrate the success of the 50 grand that I've had. But it doesn't make me feel good. It doesn't make me go, oh, that's it, honey, we've made it. Let's go on holiday. Like, I'm like, this winter's going to be dark. And I'm all right. You know, call me what you want. Fucking arrogant, whatever. Just the brass facts, whatever it is. The cold hard facts is that me, personally, sat here, mid-30s, northern lad, done good, whatever. I'm all right. I know so many fucking people who aren't. And this week, a mate of mine wanted to get involved in Tiger, and I'm seeing more and more people like not come to it from a positive place of I want to grow apart. They're coming at it from the place of I need to stop these wolves from the door. And I don't like that. I don't like the responsibility of that. I don't like people, like, ultimately it becomes a gamble at that point. Like, if you're getting involved in any of our product, in fact, if you're getting involved in anything, if you're getting involved in stock market trading, if you're getting involved in a property, if you're getting involved in like what any way to an investment, that needs to come from a good place. That needs to come from a place of I've got a little bit and I want to grow it, as opposed to this fucking needs to work or I'm dead. Do you know what I mean? Like, I need this to work to put food on my table. I find that really unhealthy, and that's not the person's fault. That's just the society that we find ourselves in now. And I find it difficult having those conversations with people. Like, there's a guy who messaged us this week and he said, like, I would love to join, but I can't watch football live because I can't afford BT and Sky. And I'm like, I get it. Like, I have a sympathetic ear for that because it's fucking awful. But how did we end up in this place? Like, I'm all for capitalism. The truth is this. If, like what Thatcher's saying, if a man finds himself a passenger on a bus having attained the age of 26, he can count himself a failure in life. That is, like, fucking cold and brutal. But we live in a system and a society now where there's more opportunity than there ever has been. Unfortunately, we're not taught about that. Like, so our business now does really well, and I've only recently, in the last, like, since this company particularly, learned about VAT. No one taught me about VAT at school. No one taught me about payroll, PAYE. No one taught me about that shit. What they taught me was how to be on time, wear the same thing as everyone else, don't have any creative ideas, don't share ideas, stick to yourself, stick in your own lane. And we've created a society of drones, of people who are expected to work 40 years of their life to earn 40% of what they couldn't afford to live on in the first place. Like, that's where we're at as a society. And I would implore you, like, forget football trading for a second, right? It's not right for some people. And I probably shouldn't, you know, it's counterintuitive for me to say that, considering you're watching a bloody football trading podcast. But I would strongly advise everyone now to understand that you can't rely on anyone in this life. Like, it's cold as fuck, but it's true. The government should be there to serve us, and they're not. There's children who are eating from food banks, and yet we've just given 5 billion to Ukraine. Like, that is its own shit show in itself. Our country is a shit show. Brexit is a shit show. The whole benefit system, everything is a shit show. And so, like, man to man, man to woman, whoever you are watching this, I challenge you. Like, I see where this is going, and it ain't fucking good. It's financial, societal Armageddon. Shit is gonna break down. And it's like, what side of the wall are you on when that happens? Like, I'm worried that cash is just going to become completely fucking insignificant. I'm worried that we're going to have a social credit score. I'm worried that artificial intelligence is going to dictate what you can and can't do in your life. And so the only real way to safeguard against that is to earn money. Even if it all goes down, even if everything fucking crashes. If you've got a little nest egg and a little pot there, if you're not, I can't remember the stat. There was a stat somewhere that said something like 90% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck and don't have any money in like a savings account. And it's the fucking industry. It's the society that has made us do that. Like, buy more, consume more, get more shit that you don't need, buy more of this shit. Don't save, spend, come with us. They prey on you for this fucking shit. And so, just learn something. Learn a skill, right? Never before in history have you had access, I say you, the royal you, all of us, have we had access to other people. Never before. I can send a message now and talk to a dude in Australia as quickly as I can talking to you right now. I would really like it. Look, I don't want anything from you. Like, if you're a member, great. How's it going? You know where I am if you need me. Send me a message. If you're not, I don't want anything from you. Buy the book if you want. It's really fucking cool. But you don't have to. Like, whatever. You do you, right? If you think it's a fit for you, great. If not, cool. It's like, I respect you. But what I would love for everyone to do, if you're in any kind of place in your life, learn a skill, like learn a valuable skill, and then find a way to monetize it. Because I'm concerned that by businesses are closing left, right, and centre, right? I was in Blackpool town centre the other day, like fucking glorious Blackpool. By the way, I'm on an elf mug today, Christmas mug. I was in Blackpool. You have never seen as many boarded up shops and as many boarded up hotels and boarded up everything. Like, the fucking economy in this town is fucked. And I know we're not Liverpool, I know we're not Manchester, Birmingham, etc. But a lot of people live in these kind of towns. A lot of people are working class, if you're American, blue collar workforce. And these businesses are closing left, right, and centre. So if that happens, what do people then do? What do they rely on? Where are they getting their money from? How do they feed their families? And I'm not saying for a second that football training is the way, because it's not right for some people. It's worked great for me, and I'm blessed that I found it and learned that skill and really sharpened that skill. And it's been good for a lot of people, but it's not right for everyone. I again, counterintuitive to business, and it'll cost me money, but I'm just being fucking real with you. Like, football training's not right for everyone, but it's a skill. It's a skill that you can then monetize. And I think everyone should be doing that now. Like, if you've watched the news, I mean, I fucking rarely watch the news now, but looking at the fear mentality that is seemingly rife now in our society, the writing has been on the wall for a long time, I think. I think what's happening, I ain't a conspiracy theorist. I ask questions. I ain't a conspiracy theorist. I think the fact that so many upper echelon people who have extreme levels of power within our society, who are saying, like, look out, because it's coming. I think to naively go about our lives thinking someone's going to come and save us is just not feasible. I don't think it's happening. And so this is where we fucking stand up like Sparta and build walls around yourself. Like, it's really important now, more than ever. Like, you can't rely on anyone. You can't rely on me. You can't rely on the government. You can't rely on, your parents. They're going through the same fucking thing. Everyone will do. And so find something. Like, I have built a really successful business. Again, I'm not dick measuring or like trying to show off. I've built a really successful business by creating what I would consider great products. And a lot of people think so too. And charging a fair price for them. And a lot of people have made a lot of money from our stuff. But that is no different than you selling soap, or selling to local businesses, or finding a way to import something and sell that. I mean, even that's getting harder now. You get taxed like fuck, and it's way more expensive to courier stuff. But there are ways. The internet is an amazing, amazing, amazing place. Like the fact that you can listen to me right now from however many hundreds of miles away that you are in real time, and hopefully feel like the emotion and the intent behind my message is amazing. Like, you can create a product and have it live within, I don't know, a week, a couple of days. Like, I wrote a book. I'm not an author. I'm from Blackpool. Do you know what I mean? Like, if anyone, if anyone was never going to have the lexicon to write a book, it would be me. I wasn't a Wordsworth at school. I've never read Shakespeare, but I wrote a book about something that I was passionate about. And I think you have that. Whatever you've done in your life, wherever you are, you have something that is valuable to people. And I call you to arms. I challenge you now. If you don't follow that, like it's an obligation for you to share that with people. Like, we need hope now more than ever. Like, the world is not a nice place at the moment. And like, I'm talking about the UK, and I don't feel like I'm being pessimistic. I feel like I've been optimistic on every single one of these videos. But it was making that amount of money. It was that when that 50 grand hit my bank account, I mean, well, I say my bank account, when I saw that in my trading account, £50,000 profit, that switched something in me. And it wasn't a good thing. I felt a responsibility then. Because I don't have to keep chasing it, which is, it feels fucking great having that. But the people that I'm talking to, the conversations that I'm having on a daily basis, of people who are running away, who are trying to like wrap their problems with a plaster when it needs a fucking bandage, is frightening, and it frightens me. I don't know if this is stupid. I don't even know if I'm going to put this out. I don't know if the message is coming across right. I don't know if I'm being too vulnerable. I don't know. I'm just worried. I'm fucking worried about us. I'm worried. Like, I'm worried about my mates. I'm worried about you. I'm fucking worried. And I've never been a worrier. I've never fucking panicked. But I see it for what it is. And I'm fucking concerned. The pound is the lowest in 34 years. Mortgage companies this week have come out and said, we are stopping new applications of mortgages. So basically, on one hand, we'll give you the opportunity to, like, there's all these new incentives so that young people, I'm mid-30s, I class myself as somewhat young, to get on the property ladder, to get a mortgage. But at the same time, all of these big companies are saying, we ain't going to lend to you because we don't know what's going on. Now, if these multi-billion pound conglomerates, which, let's be honest, that's what fucking banks are, if they're withholding now their most profitable product, which is a mortgage, aside from maybe like a high interest credit card, something's going on. If a government that is struggling like mad is cutting taxes, something's going on. If the news are telling you that a psycho dictator on the other side of the world is about to blow you up, something's going on. Don't tell me there's no rumblings under the surface, because I know you feel it too. And I worry that, like we have always done, we bury our head in the sand and don't do anything about it. Now, I mean, I would be up for fucking anarchy in the UK. I'm a bit like that. I'd like, picket fence and, mass non-compliance of energy payments and tax, like like if we're going down in flames, just fuck the system, like pull the plug, let's go. But I think us English, and I speak to people in the UK now, like I feel like we are so reserved, and I feel like we are so compliant, and we are so we're so trusting with these people that have proven over and over and over again that they are complete compulsive liars about so many things. I don't think that's going to change anything. And really, I mean, I don't know how many people are going to watch this. Maybe 100, maybe 1,000. I don't really know. But I think the only real way to do anything about this now is to be your own economy. Because I don't think you can trust the wider one. Because they don't give a fuck about you. That's just the truth, man. None of them do. Like, they'll tell you that they do, but they don't. Excuse me. All of their incentives and all of their, like, I'm just skeptical. I'm skeptical that anyone can lead us out of this. I don't think there's a plan to. I think we've set ourselves on a journey where if you go down this route, you lose. And if you go down this route, you lose. And the only way, I think, now to secure yourself, secure your family, is to make money. Even if you've never done it before, it's out there. Like the learning and the skill, right? Let me just clarify. I'm not saying for this. Look, on my kid's life, this is not a roundabout way of me trying to get you into football trading. Like, I'm kind of past that point now. Like, the business is great. We got loads of members. Everything's fine. And it's ticking along and great. What I'm trying to say is I don't need the money, right? I'm doing this as a call to action for humanity. And I'm just a fucking guy on the internet. Do you know what I mean? Like, what power do I have in the greater scheme of things? But if I can change just one person, if I can just make you go, oh, actually, maybe he's got a point. And maybe I'll learn a way. Maybe I'll find a way. I'll give you some examples now. First of all, get a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Completely changed my fucking life. That took me from a potential life of working for the man to basically retired in my mid-30s. And yeah, it took a long time to get there, and there was lots of pitfalls, and you know, you're fucking flying by the seat of your pants a lot of the time. But Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, important. If you want to set up a website, clickfunnels.com is amazing. Get an autoresponder and just make something. Just make anything. Like some of our products involve me just sitting in front of a camera and talking like this. Like, you can do that. Like, you've got a mobile phone. Mobile phones now, these things are good enough for you to take really high quality video. Yeah, you like buy a little microphone if you need to. Like yeah, go the extra mile for sure. But people buy information, and people buy skills, and people buy processes, and people buy value, and everyone is value. Like, I don't think there is a single person watching this now that if they told me something about their life, I wouldn't be able to go, or like their career or whatever it is, that I wouldn't be able to sit there and go, well, that's a really valuable thing. I'd like to learn that. I'd like to know that. Maybe you know accounting. Maybe you make stuff with your hands. Like, maybe you're knowledgeable about tree surgery. I don't fucking know. Like, whatever your thing is. I don't think it's sensible now to rely on someone else. That's the ultimate point. Thatcher said, if a man finds himself a passenger on a bus having attained the age of 26, he can count himself a failure in life. That's the fucking mentality that we're dealing with here. Klaus Schwab, the head of the World Economic Forum, said that by the year 2030, you will own nothing, rent everything, and you'll be happy. And I think these walls that are getting closer and closer in now are squeezing out the middle class to make us all reliant on like a universal basic income. I think that's what's going to happen. I don't think you've got the head of EDF Energy acting completely independently. I don't think you've got all the food suppliers acting independently. I don't think you've got the governments acting independently. I think there is a globalist agenda. Call me conspiracy, call me what you want. There's a globalist agenda here to squeeze the middle, to squeeze the money out, make it harder for the lower classes to go to the middle and get rid of the middle classes. So you've basically got the elite. It's the Hunger Games. You got the elitists, billionaires, and then you got every other fucker. And I think COVID was part of that, closing everything down for 2 years, destroying businesses for something. I mean, it's now disappeared. I mean, that's a conversation for a different day. Like, each to their own with that. But I think that was part of it. I think this energy crisis, I think, is part of it. Like, fucking hell, man. We have got more than enough land in this country to create our own energy. We could totally be self-sufficient. If we decompartmentalized Europe, bear with me, if we decompartmentalized Europe and just lived in little communities like we used to and have our own trade and create our own food and grow our own livestock, create our own energy, there's more than enough technology to do that. There's more than enough people to do that. There's more than enough money to do that. There's more than enough. But that would give you freedom. And I don't think that's what those that have it want you to have. And it's fucking scary. And nothing has countered my belief that that is true. At no point have I turned the news on, or which I don't watch, or read a paper, which I don't read, or have I seen anything where there's incentives. Like when the Chancellor, when the former Chancellor, he was it fuel went up to £2 the first time ever, and then he came out in the House of Commons and went, oh, we've lowered it by 5p a litre. You're like, you motherfucker, you've just put it up 40%. Why does 5p make any difference? In the same way now that they're saying these energy companies, you know, the government are saying, oh, we'll give you a £400 levy on that. And you're like, it's not even going to touch the sides. It's not even going to do a month. You're completely subservient to a corporate entity as a fucking government. Who, by the way, work for us, not the other way around. So please, like, as a father, as a brother, as a son, I'm not appealing to you now as, like, the guy behind the football trading stuff, the guy who wrote a book, the guy who made Tiger. I'm not coming at it from that. I'm coming at it from a dude. I'm coming at it from a guy who, look, I'm okay financially and I'm frightened. And so if that's the case, for people who don't have a lot of money, like, the call to arms needs to be stronger. Like, it needs to be more, it needs to happen faster. There needs to be more urgency with it. And it's not really my place to say all this. And I'm sure a lot of people will unsubscribe now, and I'm sure it'll just be like, oh, we went off on some fucking psycho tangent about globalist agendas and stuff, but I see it, and I realise I'm putting my neck on the line to say it, which I don't have to. Like, I could have come out here and gone, I made 50 grand this month, let me show you how. Right, first of all, what you want to do is you want to find a football match, like, I feel like I'm changing. I feel like my view on the world is changing, and I feel like if I don't say something, even if it goes out into the ether and no one hears it, and no one heeds any fucking interest to it, I can rest easier tonight knowing that I've raised a flag, that I see this shit happening. And if you're not in a good place financially, like, you need to do something about it. Like, I'm not blaming you. I'm blaming anyone. Like, it is what it is. I am blaming people. I'm blaming the system. But it's always been the same, and it's never going to change. So the buck stops with you. Buck stops with royal you. Stops with you, actually. Stops with me. Stops with, like, your responsibility for where you're at in your life. And I know that's fucking hard to hear, and I don't want to create combat, and I don't want to create conflict, and I don't want to, you know, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but it's fucking true. Like, it's down to you. It's down to you. It's down to me. And if you're a man, I know we live in, like, a, you know, equal society now, and, you know, equal rights, equal pay, equal gender, equal, you know, I realize that. But if you're a man, I still think we have that alpha male in us of responsibility of looking after our families. I do. I actually think that's inbuilt within us. And so if that's the case, I know how much it fucking burns to not be able to do that. When my kids were born, I wasn't in a place, I didn't even know what football training was. And I had that. I was like, fucking hell, I'm a failure because I can't provide my family. Like, it hurts. It really fucking hurts. And every day you wake up, and I talk about this in the book at great length. Like, I was ill. I was not in a good place mentally, physically. I was just like I'm not here to depress you or anything, but I turned it around. That someone gave that call to action to me, and I answered it, and it was fucking hard. And I've worked my bollocks off. Like, you know, if you work 9 to 5, you know, you work 8 hours a day, whatever that is, whatever it is, 9 to, how many is that? Yeah, it's 8 hours a day. If You work 8 hours a day and you come home at night and you switch off and watch telly and put Netflix on and whatever. Like, that's what I was doing in my life. And I realized, oh my God, I can't rely on this. Like, I just can't. Like, you need to find a way to make your own money without being reliant on someone else. I really believe that. I think, not everyone's cut out to be an entrepreneur. You don't have to be an entrepreneur. You can just find something you're good at, find a way to demonstrate it, and then sell it. Like, get some money for it. I question how the world would be, actually, if we all just became individual traders. Like, if we all just became, like, solely responsible. Like, no one had a job, but we all just had our own place in the world. And in the old days where you got, the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker. Like, there's still a place. Obviously, you can't have organizations without staff and stuff. Like, I understand that. But I don't think there's any reason why someone in this day and age can't find a side hustle or, find an alternative way to make money. Because the fucking sky is falling. Like, I see it. And it worries me. Like, that's it. So, I suppose if that's you and you're in this place, then call to arms, man. Go and get Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Read that book, because it talks about how what you think about becomes your reality, how thoughts manifest into things. And I can attest to that working, because that's why I find myself where I am today. The mind is a wonderful thing. Get that book. Write a list. I mean, I don't have a formula here, but just write a list of things you're good at. Write a list of things that you can create. Write a list of things that you're excited about. Write a list of things that would get you up in the morning, and then find a way, even if it's like, I mean, I know myself from YouTube. I mean, this is a different channel, but I've got 2 channels. You can see up there the YouTube plaque. Like, I've done that before, where I take a passion, talk about it, and got 100,000 subscribers. It's like 250,000 now, or whatever it's at. Like, and when you get to that point, you start making money from it. That's a side hustle. It's another way to bring in more money. Okay? It's like with these TikTok influencers now who make videos doing dances or whatever it is. Like, there's ways and means to make money now, more than there ever has been in the entirety of human history. Like, we are in an unbelievable place in terms of our evolution and where we're going. But I feel like the wolves at the door are getting louder and barking heavier. Barking louder? They're getting bigger. And I think if you don't do it, I think the weak are going to get swallowed up in this, and it ain't going to be fucking nice. Like, I'm really concerned. So, I came on here to talk about the 50 grand, but I think this is more important. I do. Like, honestly, if you've got any questions, or not questions, like, if you want to chat, drop me a message, like, in the comments, or email us at support@footballtradingacademy.co.uk. And let's have a conversation, because I feel like we need to have the conversation now. I don't think we can keep burying our heads in the sand. So, anyway, how you doing?